Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me for the OneStream story. It's an incredible IPO story. It could be your story as you go through your levels of stage and maturation as a company. And joining me is Pam McIntyre, the Senior Vice President of Finance and Corporate Controller at OneStream. My name is David Apple, Global Head of the SaaS vertical here at Sage Intacct. I want to introduce Pam. I want to tell you about OneStream. Pam, would you take it from there?
Yeah, absolutely, David. Thank you for having me. So OneStream Software, actually, we just IPO'd in July of 2024, and it was an awesome success story for us. OneStream is a modernized platform leading finance management. And what we do is actually we support the Office of the CFO, just like Sage Intacct does. And we do unifying the core consolidation, financial planning and analysis, bringing all of that data together to help finance teams actually operate and run their businesses and measure performance against their targets. So that's what OneStream does. And our vision is actually to be a central source of truth for all of our finance teams and leaders. And it's the operating system for modern finance. But one of the things that we were faced with was coming from a core transactional system. We had a dated ERP locally here. And one of the things that we knew when I started 5 years ago is that to scale and build a company that was ready to be public, we needed to actually invest in a system that could support us transactionally, automate some of those things. And that is kind of how we've gotten to where we are today.
Company success and the amazing product and product market fit and your ability to fulfill the brand promise all speaks for itself to get to that milestone of an IPO. And folks, how the slide reads is from left to right, where there was an issue that Pam and team were facing, and then they had a process improvement, and then some strategic impact that brought great pride and satisfaction to them and business results from all that. So Pam, you alluded to it. You were kind of using a simpler system. Let's start with the first line. What was going on with billing and RevRec?
Yeah, we were growing really quickly when I joined the company. It was 5 years ago, and just the speed of our growth and how many customers we were onboarding, the number of invoices that we had to send out on a monthly basis and annually, the amount of RevRec transactional processing that we had to do was so significant that the team was spending all of their time basically building worksheets, reconciling to the worksheets, and actually managing the invoicing in the system. And one of the things that we knew we needed to do was find an ERP system that could actually help us with the transactions. OneStream is a core consolidation system. So while we love like the analytics and things like that using our own software, the transactional is not really what we do in-house here. So going from a small business ERP to actually automating and integrating with our sales platform and making sure that all of that data flowed and actually recorded the entries, did the billing, and gave us a tool set that allowed us to scale was one of our core goals. And when we looked at Intacct, we knew that it was going to be able to, with the contracts module, the core consolidation processes, the ability to use it for growing into more countries and having different currencies, that was going to help us with all of the RevRec, all of the billing. And that was one of our core goals when we were looking at an ERP.
Well, thank you. And everybody, you might see yourself in all that. That the what got you here won't get you there. That getting product market fit, getting great market traction, then produces an operational load on the back end, and everybody becomes tactical. And Pam, if you're able to handle that, then kind of what was the strategic outcome of operationalizing all of that?
Yeah, for us, it gave us the ability to really operate that we could analyze the information and not be working as much on the transactional process every month, looking at our billings, changing our billing strategy, looking at it more strategically overall, managing our billing growth on an easier basis, helping us forecast that billings because it was in a system that we could leverage and extract and then do the analytics and forecast based off of. Historically, with multiple worksheets, pulling that together, yes, we successfully did our forecasting, but it was more cumbersome for us as well. And we didn't have the transactional data to understand the foreign exchange changes and look at that as we grew and we wanted to grow into more countries, into more products, and change some of our stuff to be able to scale.
Yeah, and all that sharing with finance is the partner to the business. So communicating with product and with billing about what are new offerings to build. How can
Mhm.
you use pricing and billing as a differentiator to win even more in the market? So
Yeah.
it's like great financial maturity, bringing great business outcomes. And you alluded to that, like, and we moved to the next line on, and then all this is happening, great success in North America and becoming international. And again, what was going on before?
Yeah, so we have always had an international presence. We've operated internationally for the entire time I've been here. We had our first international customers back in 2015. But the ability for us to scale, understand the foreign exchange, the intercompany, the tax consequences, integrate with tax modules like Avalara, that was a shortcoming that we had in our prior systems, is we were managing all of that compliance separately. And what was great about when we moved to Intact is we could automate that integration process. We could leverage systems like Avalara. We could integrate with Salesforce and make sure all of those things work together cohesively, and then build the controls, the analytics, all of those things. And that's what my team started spending time on. They reduced all of the time for the manual record keeping. Now they're able to actually be a participant and drive some of the business. And I think they enjoy what they do on a regular basis a lot more than dealing with tangling and wrangling worksheets. And so collaborating with Intact, loading that data into OneStream and having the ability to analyze, slice and dice it instead of spending our time working on worksheets and then redoing and starting from scratch. Now we have the ability to take the transactions, take the contracts, and understand and analyze them across the globe.
And as we were preparing your story, one of the things I thought was so amazing is what I took away is your team transitioned from being 70% tactical to 70% strategic because of all this automation and this incredible business outcome that there's this massive growth in the company with additional product lines, different revenue schedules, and doing it across multiple international currencies and tax bases. But even as all that's going up, you're reducing the close to get that FP&A package into OneStream. You want to share a little bit more about that?
Yeah, when I started, we closed the books every month, but we didn't develop a whole reporting package on a monthly basis all the time. Now, early in the month, it's usually the fifth to sixth workday, we have a view of the business, P&L, balance sheet, cash flow, all of that stuff, all the data is loading into OneStream and building that and analyzing against the forecast immediately. So we can see right away using OneStream and Intact together to see how our results are, how do we perform against our targets, what do we think was going to happen in the forecast, and then reforecast for the next period using all the information that we collected transactionally in the system. For us, when I joined, we knew that we needed to scale. And one of the outcomes were going to be either an IPO, or we just needed to be able to grow the business to a level because we were growing so quickly. And, thankfully for us, the IPO was super successful in July, but we were scheduled and wanted to be prepared by 2021. So in 2020, when we implemented Intact, our goal was to have the system ready to scale, so that come that next year, we were ready and prepared to do whatever the markets would allow us to do and be ready to respond to the growth that we needed to have. So that was our goal. And I'm pleased that the IPO was super successful in July and that we were ready and as a finance team to be there and to perform and deliver as soon as we were ready to go in the market.
Yeah, it's just incredible. So there's all this operational rigor, but also leading to even greater job satisfaction with the team as we finish line two. And then you started leading into line three as there was a hope for milestone to inject more capital into the company one way or the other in order to get there. What was happening before and how did you prepare for the IPO?
The transactional systems, all of that data needs to be auditable. You need to be able to be ready to scale for an audit. There needs to be diligence on the transactions. You need to be able to present all of your contracts. So making sure we had repositories, data, and all of the information ready to go. That was a huge thing for us. And also the ability for our team to be able to respond, close the books, analyze the information, do the controls, and not have to be burnt out every single month because you're working on a worksheet or have validations or controls around it. That is a huge thing for us. Right now, we integrate with our sales platform. That data comes over to Sage Intact. We make sure the records tie, and that's like a control that we've developed. And all of that data flows through, and we record our billing schedules and revenue schedules using the Intact modules. We also use the fixed asset modules. We also use several other modules. And what I love as a leader of those things is I'm not in the system every day, to be honest with you, but I can open the system. It's super intuitive. I can look into schedules, validate with the team that I'm looking at the right thing. Because like I said, I'm not in the system every day, but it's very easy to understand and process once you kind of build out the framework. And it's been very helpful for us as a company. And I can have my finger on the pulse, but empower the team to be owning each of their things and empowering the team to make sure that the billing processes, the revenue processes, the cash integration with our banking platform is done, the cash rec is integrated. So all of the operational processes and the ease of integration with outside tools too. Like we don't use all of the features of Intact. We actually have other supporting systems that support other transactional processes, but Intact has the ability to integrate with them, pull it all together. So it helps with the record keeping, the books, and our ability to extract it for analysis in OneStream.
Just incredible. And there's so much in the pre and post IPO process, so much compliance you need to attest to, and in all that, having that system of record with the one system of record with an ecosystem that's all part of one broader ecosystem, with leveraging the power of what OneStream does and then some other applications that come around, that is what then gives you the compliance to be able to attest as you have to do. And then as you laid out there, and we talked about earlier, a great data set fast that will allow us to forecast, because there's a lot of predictability that the public markets expect of the forecast. And you guys have the ability to do that.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
Your quote at the bottom just captures it all. It's a great partnership and a great story that you have as it all comes together. So folks, this could be you. Hopefully, just an amazing product, a great leadership team and culture and metrics to go after it is critical. And then the foundational element to accelerate understanding what's happening with cash, how cash gets invested, and then making sure it's compliant to what the regulators and investors want to see is what's all critical to all this. Pam, as we wrap up, any final thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. I always say finance is the heart of the actual company. So you have the products around it, but to really perform, you have to understand what's going on in the business and whether it's meeting your financial metrics. OneStream is a digital finance cloud that unifies financial and operational data. And using Intact as that financial data source for the transactions and all the thing has helped us be able to understand and analyze the business, and then leverage OneStream to actually do the analysis, planning, forecasting. So like you said, that partnership of those two tools has really helped us scale and be ready for public markets. And we're super excited to continue kind of evolving and growing both tool sets.
Will speak for themselves. And so everybody, I hope you saw some thoughts in here. But as you go through your own journey, what are the things to anticipate? What are problems you might run into? And then what are ways that you can resolve it? And then the trail's been broken by others in front of you. Pam, thank you so much for taking your time to share your story with everybody. Thank you, of course, for you and team choosing us to be there. And everybody, I hope this was helpful and informative to you. And please have a great day.